They've not asked me for motivation. They've not asked me for inspiration. They've not even asked me, how do I live my dream life? When they are battered with failure, when they've lost all their hopes, when their dreams are completely shattered, and when all they can see is a failure-filled future, in that moment, all they need to know is, how do I bounce back? Because in the hundreds and hundreds of coaching sessions that I've done for people, do you know what's the most common thing that they've asked me? How do I get started again? What do I change in my life, in my mind, in my thinking, so that I can get out of this rut and truly start living the life of my dreams? And in those moments, motivation or guidance or inspiration or something else of that sort is actually one of the last things you need. What you need is something completely different, something much more fundamental, and that's exactly what I'm going to be introducing you to today. How do you rebuild your life after everything has fallen apart? That's the question we'll be answering today. So for the moments when life feels low, when you feel that you've lost it all, when you feel that things are just not working out, this is what will help you not only get out of that state, but to also create a better one and to get unstuck and to build the life of your dreams. Let's get started. This is going to be practical. This is going to be real. This is going to be something you can implement from today onwards. So watch till the end, because these next 15 minutes have the potential to completely change the way you look at failure and the way you bounce back in your life. The very first thing that I want you to know, that I want to begin this conversation with, is that failure is a natural part of life. Setbacks are inevitable. Loss is always going to be there. And I know we like to believe in this ideal version of a world where everything is perfect, where everything's sorted, where everyone's thinking positive thoughts, but that's not the reality. That's unfortunately not the world that we live in. But when we expect psychologically that our lives and our world and our people should be like that, you know what's the biggest mistake we make? When we fail, when we end up imperfect, when things don't work out the way we want, we start to hate on ourselves, we start to judge ourselves, and we start to ask a question that's the most dangerous question you could ask. And that question is, why me? Because think about it this way. When you've lost something really big in your life, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's your business that just went into the ground, maybe you got fired from your job or you lost a lot of money, whatever it may be. In that situation, you are feeling devastated. You are feeling as if life has no hope left. You are feeling so bad at yourself, and you are judging yourself, and you're criticizing yourself, and you're hating yourself, and you're thinking, how could I be so stupid? How did I not see the signs? Where did things go wrong? And why me? Why am I always the one who's suffering? Why is life so unfair to me? Now, I know it feels like a natural question to ask. It feels like something that could give you some comfort. And if some moments it does, it's okay. Ask that question. But now my question to you is, do you want to stay in that zone of failure? Do you want to stay down, or do you want to start getting back up and start rebuilding your life from that failure? Because when you are asking the question, why me? Here's the problem that's happening. You are staying in the past and you are trying to decode what went wrong in the past, because of which you are down today and you are lost and your life is essentially a mess. To some extent, that decoding helps. But to what extent are you really doing it? Are you doing it to empower yourself, or are you really doing it to find blame and to justify why other people or other situations are responsible for the failure and the problems and the challenges of your life? And I'll be honest with you, they could be the very reason you are where you are in your life. I'm not denying that. There could be people because of whom you are stuck. There could be some circumstances that came up out of nowhere because of which you are stuck. No doubt about that. My question is, do you want to remain stuck? If your answer is yes, keep asking the question, why me? Keep trying to decode the past. Keep trying to understand what went wrong in something you cannot even change. But if you're tired of that cycle, if you're tired of being down, and if you are ready to start building success back up again in your life, can I implore you today, to ask a different question? Can I ask you to look at your failure from a new perspective? And it's not for the sake of pumping you up. It's not for the sake of making you feel better. It's only for the sake of one thing, and that is, just because you are down today doesn't mean you have to be down tomorrow. Just because you have failed today doesn't mean you will fail tomorrow. Just because the fire has burnt you today doesn't mean it will burn you tomorrow. But if you keep living in the past of how it hurt you and how it troubled you and how it is the reason you are where you are today, then, my friend, you are not going to get out of that failure. And with that thinking, tomorrow is destined to be another failure for you. If you are constantly blaming the fire and never understanding why you were the one who got burnt, the next time you go to the fire, you will be the one who gets burnt, rather than being the person who learns from it, who understands from it, and in the future can deal confidently with it. Now that's who we want to become. But the biggest barrier in becoming that is just this one tiny thing, and that is responsibility. Here's what I mean by that. You see, every time you justify, you blame, and you complain, and rightly so, because the circumstances may be like that, here's what you're essentially doing. You are saying, I am not responsible for the mess my life is right now. It's this person, it's this situation, it's this whole politics that was played against me, or whatever story you're telling yourself inside your head, whatever excuses you are holding on to, whatever justifications feel right in your mind. And the moment you believe them, you create a barrier. Because you say, if I am not responsible for creating the failure in my life, then I'm also not responsible for getting out of it. All these other people and circumstances and situations should align. They should come back and apologize to me. They should come back and sort this mess out for me because they created it in the first place. They cheated me. They did this. They did that. Whatever your mind is saying. But in that moment, when you are in that why me zone, when you are asking that question, failure becomes insurmountable because you become helpless and you lose your power. The moment you displace responsibility for the failure, unknowingly, you also displace the responsibility and the power to create the success that you want. And then you wonder why I'm so stuck in life and why, despite wanting so much, I'm not able to take the right actions. I'm not able to become the person I need to be. I'm not able to channel my energy into the life I want. And every single day I'm suffering emotionally. I'm suffering otherwise. I'm just not where I want to be. Well, the longer you keep holding on to this mindset that others are responsible, that's how long you will stay in this zone. And I know that if you're watching this video till now, you want to be the person who bounces back. You want to be the person who doesn't want to let their failures of yesterday and today also define their tomorrow and their future. And if you are ready to be that person, can I ask you today to accept responsibility for the failures in your life, for the situation that you are in, for the problem and the challenge that you're facing? Yes, I know logically you are not the person who created it. You are not the person who manifested it. You are not the person who consciously tried to fail and sabotage yourself. I accept all of that. But my question to you is, do you want to stay in the logic and suffer, or do you want to let the logic go away so you can create the life that you want, regardless of what people have done in the past? This requires a bit of crazy belief, and I believe this is the reason 90% of people just never become extraordinary in their lives. Did you know that 90% of startups fail within the first 3 to 5 years? Very few of them grow on to become big companies, multinational corporations, and institutions that change the world with their technology, with their work, with their products, whatever it is that they are making. But do you know why that failure happens? The biggest reason is financial crunch, lack of money. The second biggest reason is conflicts between the team. And the third biggest reason is no one is willing to take responsibility for the failures. When the two co-founders fight, one says, "You're the reason the company is going down." The other says, "No, you are the reason. You made the wrong deal with a client. You did this, you did that." The entire team has turned into vultures against each other, where everyone is trying to prove they are right. Everyone is trying to prove how they are not responsible, but everybody is eating each other up, and no one is realizing that there's a hole in the ship that is sinking the ship. And rather than anyone taking responsibility to go and seal the hole and save the ship, everybody is busy trying to figure out who caused the hole in the first place, not recognizing that the very thinking they are doing, the very blame game they are playing, is the reason that's going to take everybody down into the ocean and drown them. That's the reason most startups fail. That's the reason partnership businesses fail. In fact, that's the very reason relationships and marriages fail. No one's willing to accept responsibility. Everyone wants to blame. And it's your life now. The funniest thing is, there's no partner here. There's no co-founder here that you can blame. There's no outside person or outside situation which is ultimately responsible, because it's your ship and you are sinking alone. So in trying to point the finger, look at how funny it is. You are on a sinking ship. You know things are going down, but rather than taking control of what you have, you are pointing fingers at everybody who's on a safe, comfortable, normal ship and trying to explain how they are the reason your ship is sabotaged and you are going down and you are facing so many problems. Does that logic even hold up? When you think about it, yes, they could have caused the problem. So what? Whose responsibility is it to fix the problem, to fix the patch, to save the ship and to bounce back again? It's not theirs. It's yours. And it may sound that life is unfair then. Well, yes, life is unfair. And the greatest fairness of all is that it's unfair to everybody. Everybody has their own set of circumstances, their own set of challenges, their own set of barriers, their own set of problems. And here, I could give you two ways of thinking about your failures. The first way is to guilt trip you into feeling better about yourself by telling you about how other people have it much worse than you. I don't want to do that. You've heard a lot of stories about that as well. You've heard a lot of examples of that as well. I also don't want to sympathize and pacify you into how you are the sufferer in your life. Yes, you may be. I know that's the case and you feel that is. But from this moment on, when you have the awareness, who has the choice to continue to remain the sufferer and to start rebuilding their life? It's you. And the moment you understand this, the moment you accept that responsibility, everything starts to change, because then you can call yourself out on your own excuses. You can call yourself out on your own justifications and on all the things that make you feel helpless and powerless and weak. And the moment you say, I take responsibility for my failures, you also take responsibility and power to recreate your success. And that is what all the top people do. All the people who are at the best of their game, this is the attitude they have. They don't blame their failures. They don't blame their problems. Even if they've lost everything, they know they can build it back. Not because they have a plan, but because they know if I'm responsible for my failure, I'm also responsible for the incredible success I'm going to create. And they have faith in that. They have belief in that. They know the power that conviction holds. The day you get that conviction is the day you stop blaming, stop victimizing, stop complaining. And I hope that day is today for you, because life has been unfair. We accept that fact. Life has given you a wrong card. Let's accept that fact. Life has made sure you end up in circumstances where your growth is suppressed, where you are suppressed, where you are not helped at all. Fine, accept all of that. What are you going to do now? Are you going to sit there and just say, oh yeah, well, this was life. This is where it ends. This is done. I cannot do anything. Or are you going to be honest with yourself and accept the fact that the power is in you, the strength is in you, the courage is in you? I know I have spent quite a bit of time talking about this, talking about how this power of responsibility exists, but I've done it for good reason. Not because I want to repeat the same things, but because I really want you to understand this concept once and for all. Because the moment you do, you are able to do the second thing very easily, and that is to take small positive actions towards a better future. You see, the biggest reason we end up remaining on the down low, we end up remaining stuck at the failure is we first don't accept. But the second thing is we want the entire plan figured out today. We want everything right now. We want the complete clarity of the way we are going to go ahead, the way things are going to work out, the way we will finally rebuild our life. But can I be honest with you here? The perfect plan doesn't exist. The perfect road doesn't exist. Ask the people who are at the top and they'll say, I don't know how I'll get to the goal. I just know I'll get there. They aren't worried about the process. They aren't worried about how things are going to happen yet. They are comfortable and perseverant enough to keep taking action on it every single day. It's a paradox. It's a duality. And I want you to really understand this duality, because the moment you do, the pressure goes away from you. So you feel light and sorted, even if you're a failure. But at the same time, you don't get lazy and you keep taking all the actions that build your competence so that you can succeed and you can become the best at whatever it is that you want to do. Let me break that down for you. There's person A and there's person B. Now, person A is going through the same failure where he's lost his job, he's broke, he has very few savings left, he has no money, and he's trying to figure out, what do I do? And at one, he's just blaming and complaining on how his ex-boss was the one who made it all happen. And then he's feeling very sad, he's feeling very low. And he's like, I need to figure everything out right now. I need to do a lot of things. And out of that overwhelm, he's actually doing nothing. And then there's person B, going through the same challenge, exact same situation, no job, no money, very few savings. And yet here, he's like, okay, this is life. This is the situation I'm in. Let's accept that. What do I do now? How do I grow from here? And the moment he asks that question, he gets a very simple answer. And the answer is, figure out at least some way to make money. Now, does he know which way he's going to take? No. Does he know exactly how much money he will even make? No. The only next step is, the only tiny action is figure out how to start making some money. And so he can apply for jobs, or he can do some freelancing, or he can go and get a normal wage job just to support himself, just to support the way things are going on for him. But what he's refusing to be is a victim of his circumstances. So as he's taking just that one tiny action, things are starting to change around for him. His energy is aligning to the energy of the universe. We say about manifestation, we say about how to attract things in your life. Well, that works when you do. It doesn't work when you're feeling sad and you're feeling negative and you're on the down low and you're just not taking any action. It works when you become the person who accepts command and responsibility for your life. And so when person B does that, here's the funny thing that happens. Person A is all overwhelmed and stressed and worried. How will I do things? How will I figure life out? It's so much complications and I'm just too lost. And yet he's doing nothing. Person B, on the other hand, is not that panicking, is not that overwhelmed, not that worried. He's living a kind of happy life. He's like, okay, I am where I am. I'm not going to be sad about it for too long. I'm just going to do the things that help me get out of it. So he's relaxed, and yet he is able to take all the actions to build his competence, to build his wealth, to build his success back up in his career. Are you seeing how this paradox works? The people who are the most light emotionally, the people who are accepting of things as they are, the people who are childlike in their way of life, in their approach to life, they are the ones who have the sincerity to really take action and build success and build competence and build skills and build everything that is required to become their best selves. So I know we've been taught to feel guilty when we fail, to feel bad when we fail, to feel sad when we fail. But that sadness is not serving you, that guilt is not serving you, that regret is definitely not serving you. All it is doing is, it is keeping you stuck in the failure. So why hold on to something that's not helping you at all? Instead, accept responsibility, focus on the tiny actions you can take, start taking those actions and feel light here, because you will know, I'm no longer complaining, I am the controller of my ship. I am the captain, and I know I can make it happen. That confidence, that conviction, I'll tell you, it doesn't come when you achieve the big results. It comes when you're in the mud, when you're in the failure, and there you make a decision. I'm going to bounce back. Nothing can stop me now. And I'm not saying this is a motivational sentence. I'm saying this as a ground reality of what every successful person has done, because the greater the success, the greater the challenges. What defines successful people is not the number of challenges they have dealt with, but how they have dealt with those challenges. And the approach I've shown you today is the approach most of them follow. So I want you to know only one thing here, and that is failures are natural, as I told you. They may not be caused by you, that's also true. But if you want to live a life of your dreams, you have to start by accepting responsibility and then taking some action. Doesn't matter what it is, at least some action to build a strong base within and to build the conviction that you can do it, that you can make it happen. And this, my friends, is how you get unstuck in your life. This is how you take action. Is it 100% easy path? No. But is it simple and easy, quick to implement? It definitely is. And that's why I told you, by the end of this video, you are going to get that clarity. So share with me in the comments, what was the biggest transformation for you? What perspective unlocked the most profound shift for you? Because I'm sure if you've been struggling with something till now, this is going to help you take the actions, provided you are willing to accept responsibility for it. So stay with that thought, stay with that, implement it from today. And thank you so much for being here. I'll see you once again in the next video, that is on next Saturday. Until then, keep shining, keep growing, and keep becoming successful by accepting responsibility for all of it in your life and taking all the right actions. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon once again. Bye.